because of that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just, good chemistry, good in the ring, good storytelling, the whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm. And this is just one of many that they had with each other, both in WCW and WWE.
And ECW. And Mexico.
Yep. It's sad Dominic wasn't able to, show that he can wrestle for his father, since Eddie passed away years ago. But I'm sure Eddie would be proud of what Dominic's doing.
Say for his father.
Huh?
What did you say? Did you say
Eddie,
his father?
Yeah. Remember?
Oh, God.
It was like in 2006.
Whatever. I know what you're talking about, but really, I had caution. Wait a minute, back the train up here. God, let's back the train. Yeah, that's it's a shame we didn't get personal for his uncle Eddie. I will say uncle because Bragg and Eddie were best friends. But I wish it would been nice to have Eddie still around for he can be around Dominic to see him do his action, but he's watching over him.
Yeah, it was a good match.
His daddy.
It is his dad. He even said, "I'm your poppy, Dominic."
All right, Seth Rollins.
I follow the Square Circle Reddit, and it was probably a few weeks ago now. Someone posted, "I think Dominic's dad would be proud," and there's a picture of Eddie Guerrero.
Oh man!
Yeah, gotta love it. They had a great promo. They had a great promo for Sting versus Hogan at Starrcade. This was a really good package put together. It's one of the things I kind of miss wrestling companies doing, and because they don't really do it much anymore. This seems like it died with the 1990s.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next thing was Flair versus Hennig. Now I made a reference to this earlier.
Title match.
Yeah.
The U.S. title.
I made a reference to this earlier. When Hennig was getting in the ring, he kept changing what ring he was in to get away from Ric Flair.
Yeah, I've seen that too. These two are great. These two have a lot of history. And I was hearing Mike today talk about their history, at least as where they come from. It's it's not really recognized where Flair built at. But, he's actually from Minnesota, and it's never talked about. It's the first time I can recall, at least a major promotion, talk about that where he's from. Actually, it was Minnesota. So it was interesting for Mike today to discuss that professional to talk about that. And on top of that, but the only thing they didn't mention, which I can understand a little bit too, is they didn't mention their time of associating each other in WWF.
Mm-hmm.
Several years prior to that.
Right.
But I thought it was they had a lot of history, and I enjoyed a lot of their PE and WCW. But other matches, it was decent. I give it a 6. It was okay, good storytelling though.
Yeah, it was a good setup. You gotta appreciate anything with Flair and Hennig. You know that they're gonna have Mike skills, but also have Matt skills.
Oh yeah.
I gave it a 6 as well. Basically, Flair locked Hennig into the 3-4 headlock. Hennig grabbed the U.S. title and basically beat him with it until he was able to get the pin. I'm actually shocked that Flair didn't bleed in that match because that was a Flair thing to do, but it didn't happen here.
It happened all the time.
It happened a lot.
Okay, a number of times it didn't happen. But we'll just.
I'm actually shocked he didn't bleed in the match that he would have against his clothes. So
he was like the male stripper wrestling.
Yeah. So can you imagine sitting down with a friend, you're like, hey, man, this is what I watch. And then 5 minutes in, Ric Flair's taking off his clothes and doing elbow drops to it. and being like, "Yeah, I know what you're thinking, but."
Yeah, I mean, he didn't get down his underwear all the time, but he took off his jacket and he had his belt off, and rolled up his sleeves sometimes. Elbow dropped his jacket. That was his trademark, or one of his trademarks. But
and the knee drop.
Knee drop too. I do remember that it was cool. They're in the state of Florida, and the Gators had a big game coming up that week. I forgot. He's in the ring with Mean Gene, and he's stripping down his underwear. He's got Gator underwear on. Like, damn, dude.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like, okay, I'm a kid watching an old man get down his underwear. Well, at least it's Gators, though. I'm a Gator fan for y'all, obviously, to catch that. Of course, we have a Knowles fan on the other side of this conversation, but we won't go there. By the way, they lost last weekend. Knowles Gators beat Georgia. As you got my text message.
Who has more titles?
I'm just saying they lost this weekend. They're in a long losing streak. Knowles here. You know what I mean? Who has back?
They have had it ever since Winston left. Yes, they have had a losing streak.
His name got into a conversation this past couple days ago with somebody on that. But anyways, yeah. So Flair and Mr. Perfect. Good match.
I'm just gonna leave it at the Seminole tribe hunted gators,
and we had a crybaby head coach too. Leave that too.
Say again.
Crybaby head coach.
I actually don't know who the head coach is anymore.
I mean, back then.
Oh, talking about when? Bobby Bowden?
Bobby Boucher. Yes, Bobby Bowden.
I mean, he is one of the greatest coaches for college football that they've had, and the Gators have a coach. They had a coach that left the Gators to coach the Washington Redskins to a losing record, and he had another one that basically retired.
Of who?
With Washington.
Washington, yeah. I don't say Florida.
Yeah. And then you guys had another coach that retired to get out of Florida to go to Ohio.
That's his business. He asked. I'm not going to go into this whole deal, really. We're talking about wrestling.
Hey, you tried to throw at me about Florida State, so.
Yeah, there are also a bunch of them, like, a bunch of shitheads.
Excuse me, what?
Shitheads. I don't like. Obviously, for y'all that know about Florida, Knowles and Gators get along just perfectly. So
almost as much as Cowboys and the freaking Eagles.
Mm-hmm. I think I know I told you this story before, sorry to get off the track of wrestling here, or as I call wrestling, but when I first moved to East Tennessee, they asked me, I just moved, and they found out, oh, you're from Florida. It's like, yeah. It's like, you a Knowles fan or you Gators fan? I said, well, actually, I'm a USF fan, so we don't care about that. Well, I also support big Gator fan, too. Oh, man. Oh, get out of here, man. Move back to Florida. I was like, oh, yeah. So each year that the Gators and Volunteers play, they love me to death. Everybody does. So that's coming up here next month.
Yeah.
And it's going to be here in East Tennessee. Right. But anyways, going back to wrestling. Sorry about everybody. So we had to get our Florida rivalry out of the way. We also have 2008, 7 and 8 national titles. Anyways, back to World War III.
You guys, the team has not had those titles since Tebow left.
That's fine. He's a great quarterback too. But we're just gonna leave it at that.
He was an okay quarterback. That's why he hasn't done much there.
An okay quarterback, really?
Mm-hmm.
You're delusional too, but you're also a Knowles fan, so that explains that.
He only started for Denver that I can recall.
Yeah, but NFL is different than college. All right, let's go back.
He ran to baseball. You keep bringing things and you get mad at me when I respond to
I'm not
them.
mad at you at all. I think it's hilarious. I'm not mad at you at all. I'm really not. I think it's hilarious just that people can hear the Florida rivalry chit chat and banner going on. They're probably thinking, gosh, but I'm going to say that Tebow was great in college. You can't be. Some people don't even meant to be great in college and great in the NFL. I thought he was good in the NFL. I'm not going to say that he wasn't. I thought he was good in the NFL just to match up. But he's also going to baseball, which is cool. Got to be multi-talented too. Hello?
I'm here.
Okay.
Huh?
I said like I heard.
Yeah, what you're hearing was the fight song. Anyway,
Wow, losers are us. Fight song.
Yeah, no, it's the criminal one.
Well, let's say losers are us.
So then we had the 60-man battle royal for the WCW championship match. This is World Championship match, which is why, again, I said it's very similar to the Royal Rumble. We're not going to go through every elimination. One of the ones that I kind of felt odd is it seemed like they kept changing the rules on elimination, whether or not they had to go over the top rope or not.
I thought it was a dumb thing. I don't even remember that year with the elimination going. Oh, you're eliminated if you go to the bottom rope. I'm like, I just thought it was stupid. That's my.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of rules that they had in WCW at one point that didn't make sense. And for me, storytelling is doing you have to go over the top rope. But it came down to 5-on-5, WCW versus nWo. The WCW, correct me if I'm wrong, was Rick Steiner, the Giant, DDP, Meng, and I can't remember the last one. And then nWo was Vincent, Buff. Huh?
Yeah, Vincent, Buff, Henning, Randy Savage. What's it, Buff?
Was Scott Norton?
No, he was out of there. Yeah, Buff, Henning, Savage, Vincent, and Hall.
Hall, that's right. That's right. And DDP hits the diamond cutter on Vincent. They get eliminated. And then it came down to Hall and the Giant. And, man, who was the third guy? There's a third WCW guy. In any case, Nash came down, dressed as Sting. He goes over the top rope, which to me is like, okay, that's super obvious. That's not Sting.
Yeah, that was like, it gets sold by, or whatever you want to call it. It gets sold by the commentators, but it's like an obvious thing to where, come on, like the hair and there's a mask on, and on top of that, he's stepping the ring over the top rope. Like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the other thing. Hogan came out. It was in the ring with Hall and acted like he was afraid of Sting. So, Giant gets eliminated. Hall wins. And Nash pulls off the mask to show that it was him and not Sting.
I tricked you guys. Bullshit.
Which, again, if it's a situation where they just did this once in a blue moon, it wouldn't be bad, especially nWo was supposed to be the bad guys. But there was a lot of that where nWo would win based on some sort of shenanigans, and it just gets tiring after a while.
This pay-per-view ran for 4 years, and a lot of that was just nWo shenanigans. I got tired. I mean, I enjoy Battle Royal. I mean, that's one of my favorite gimmick matches. I always get enticed by it, but yeah, but as a kid, just watching the kid, it got old seeing nWo win it. I'm like constantly. So I was like,
yeah,
really, and I'm glad. In some ways, I'm glad it ended because of that, but it was a shame that it ended. But we still had the Royal Rumble though, and we had occasional battle royals, WWF, the WWE. So.
Right. It was just improper usage of it, and it was during the high times for the nWo, and they were just doing everything they can to push them.
Yeah, with nWo, one thing about them that I got tired of when I was a kid is that seeing them going over every week was so long got like, okay, it's a little bit too much. It's like, what are we doing?